Welcome back to another episode of First Timer Friday. I am so glad you're here. Today we are delving into something that I usually tell y'all to do, which is where to park in Key West. When we were down last week, we drove down from Orlando and we had a car, so we had to find a place to park. And the place we were staying at didn't have free parking or parking on site. So we had to do what a lot of you do, is figure out where are we going to park the car. It was not that difficult. We happened to come across a parking spot that was in a free section. So we parked it there, and guess what we did? We just left it there. I didn't need it. We walked everywhere, and that's always my advice. But let's delve into if you have to do some parking. Let's talk about that. So, when you're close to Duval and a couple streets on either direction, that is going to be usually metered street parking. And let me tell you, it is not cheap. It can range anywhere from $5 an hour to $6 an hour. And that is 24 hours. There's usually not a maximum on that. Some of the streets that are metered have a 10-hour limit. So when you go to pay, if that's what the route you're going to go, be sure to read the rules of that area and if there are time limits. There's pay stations and you can take and do all that, and a lot of the pay stations overlap into apps. Now, often if you get a couple more streets off of Duval and you get more into the residential section, there are free parking spots. Do not park in those that are marked residential, only because that you will get towed because you need a permit a permit to park there. We'll get to that a little bit, but that happens to be where we parked, and it was not a residential spot, but it was free parking. Those can be very difficult to find, especially in peak seasons. And the other thing you have to understand, if where you're staying doesn't come with parking, you may end up having to walk a ways to park your car from where you are actually staying. But most places out front have a little pull in or a space out front that allows for like 15-minute parking, so you can unload and do all of that. Take advantage of that in those unloading zones and then go park your car. And then again, I'm telling you, just leave it parked. But if you can't find street parking and you need to go find a place, check out some of the parking lots that are around. You have the Old Town Parking Garage, and that's over on Grinnell Street. And it's the corner of, I think, Grinnell and Caroline. That is $6 an hour with a maximum of $48 a day. So if you're thinking that you're going to go someplace else and park cheaper than probably where you're going to pay at a hotel, think not, because a lot of these are almost $50 a day to park. There are only 300 spaces at this garage in Old Town, and it is open 24 hours, so you can go in and out of it. It does have height restrictions. I think it's 7 feet, so there's not going to be any RVs or trailers or anything like that allowed in there. Another place that you can park would be the Key West Bite parking lot, and that's at the corner, that's over in Margaret Street. It's $5 a day with a $40 maximum, but there's only a 10-day maximum that you can park. So if you're coming down and are going to be there for an extended amount of time, you can only stay there 10 days. The Old Town Parking Garage does allow for a monthly rate. You do have the Mallory Square parking lot. That does fill up pretty quickly. It's right there on Wall Street. It's $6 an hour, $48 maximum. There is no overnight parking there. So keep that in mind if you're coming down there. You can park there, enjoy the sunset celebration, and then head out if that's what you want to do. Next to the fire station, there is a parking lot there. It's, I think, $5 an hour with a 10-hour maximum and no overnight parking there as well. Keep in mind, you will be towed if you are found there. Over on Green Street, you have the Conch Republic parking lot. That's that big one by the Conch Republic. It's $5 an hour, 10-hour maximum. Starting to hear a pretty good trend here, huh? If you are in some of the residential sections, you're going to see sites and spots that are marked residential parking only. Those are for people with permits, and your car must have that permit. And you can park, they can park there, but they have to show that they're a full-time resident. So you just can't walk into City Hall and get one of these if you're going to be a snowbird. You have to be a full-time resident, a property owner, either or active military personnel stationed in Key West, not just active personnel, but active in Key West. And if you are seasonal and you're staying for more than 4 months, you should be able to get that, but you're going to have to go in and talk to them about that. Permit holders can park in the resident permit sections in the historic district, and you get up to 4 hours of free parking per day in select city lots. And they'll give you all that information if you qualify for that. And there is an annual fee that you'll pay them for that. I'm going to tell you again and again and again, if you don't have to have your car with you, don't bring it. As you can see, there is not a whole lot of places to park. It's going to cost you to park. So fly in, do what you need to do. But if you don't have to bring a car, don't. But there's so many other ways to get around Key West. You can rent a bike, you can rent a scooter, you can rent one of those cool little golf carts or electric cars. And another option which is 100% completely free is the Duval Loop bus. It goes around the perimeter of Duval. If you go on the city app, there is a bus schedule and you can hop on, hop off, and guess what? It's air conditioned. So if you're wanting to cool off a little bit and you've already got your 10,000 steps in for the day, there you go. Hop on that Duval Loop. The last thing you want to do is come out of your hotel room and get ready to go, and you've got parking permit, you've got parking tickets, or you've got your car towed or something. So always check signage, double check the signage, check it and then check it again. That way you know what your time limits are, what your restrictions are, and that way you're keeping track of it. If you are doing the metered parking and they have one of those apps attached to it, download the app, use the app, because the app will remind you when your time is getting near the end. And be mindful of those residential permit parking places. Residents are going to turn you in because those are their spots. And they're going to want to make sure they can have a place to park when they get home. So plan ahead, know where you're going. So if you are coming into Key West and staying at an Airbnb, check with them and see if they have parking on site or at parking nearby. Some of the Airbnbs coordinate with some of the parking lots in town and have some spots available. Double check with them before you come in so you know. If they say, no, we don't offer any parking and we don't have anything near us, ask if they have an unloading or a loading zone or a spot that you can pull in and check in, get your luggage out. And most of them do, but know ahead of time. That's all I'm saying is know ahead of time. And Melissa's saying rent a bike, it's the best. I know, it's awesome. Rent a bike, go around, explore Key West by bike, because you can go in and around and check out so many cool places, because you can go farther and faster on a bike than you can on your feet. I know this was just a real quick check-in. I couldn't reiterate this enough. If you don't need a car, don't bring it, because it's going to be expensive to have in Key West. But if you are in a position like we were and we had a car, just do the best of it, make the best of it. And there are places to park. It's going to probably cost you, unless you're lucky like we were and were able to find a free spot. But we happened to be in a location that it wasn't too far to walk. And so we were pretty grateful for that. You guys can find out so many more tips and ideas and things to do and book your next adventure to Key West over at FunInKeyWest.com. There are things to do. We work with amazing travel partners, and you can book straight from our site at no additional cost. And so I encourage you to check those out, and also sign up for our book club. We are having a blast. You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping in. You guys enjoy your Friday. And if you've got other tips on where you park and how you handle that, let me know. Put them down in the comments. In the meantime, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.